have to...
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm Will.
I'm Kendall. Nice
to meet you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and roll right into our next media availability here. We now are joined by Will Brown, driver of the number 33 RCR Chevrolet. We'll go right into questions. If anyone has a question, raise your hand and we'll get you a wireless mic. All right, we'll start. Will, how are you feeling about being here this weekend?
Yeah, it's cool to come over here for myself, watching what SVG did last year. You know, a lot of Aussies are paying a lot of attention to NASCAR now, and pretty excited to come over and have a go. So, yeah, I was lucky enough to put a deal together with Richard, and we were able to have him out to Australia at the end of last year, and yeah, it made that connection. So for myself, it was cool to put a deal together last minute, and hopefully we have a good weekend.
Awesome. All right, we'll go right into questions with Holly, and then we'll go to Bob in the back.
Hi, how are you? Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. Could you just talk a little bit about the reception and getting to know others? I guess you haven't had a ton of time to really immerse yourself totally in that, but just talk a little bit about that and kind of what your realistic expectations are.
Yeah, I haven't had a long time to meet everyone just yet. I came over about 4 weeks ago for about 3 days to do seat fit and everything because, you know, I've been racing a lot in Australia, and that was the only time I could fit in. So raced last weekend, got here Monday afternoon, and have been into it since then. So I was able to meet a couple of the guys this morning. You know, it's been pretty cool to be watching the NASCAR and then meet a few of them. But expectations are a really hard thing for this weekend to know what to expect. You know, Shane obviously coming out last year and doing what he did makes it hard for the Aussies to come out now. It's like we're a letdown if we don't win. But no, it's one of those things. I think Shane's been running inside the top 10 for the last couple of road courses he's run, so that'd be a great day if we could do that. But, you know, there's a lot of cars out there that have good drivers in them, so I really don't know what to expect until after practice and qualifying.
All right, we'll go to Bob.
Bob Hawkers, Fox Sports. Just how much have you been able to be in the sim at all? I'm back here.
Oh, sorry, yep.
Have you been? I mean, like, what's your preparation been for this weekend?
Yeah, I was really lucky when I came out 3 weeks ago. I got, you know, an hour in the sim, so that was good just to familiarise myself with this track. I've never seen it before, hadn't driven it before that. And then this week I was able to piggyback off the end of Austin's session and get an hour there, and then with Kyle doing the test at one of the tracks, I was able to get his whole sim session. So that's something that we don't use back at home for drivers. There's no simulators. We can use a cheaper sort of one in our house, but yeah, we don't have that sort of facility or infrastructure. So yeah, it was cool to get on it. I think we had a really good sim session on the last day on Wednesday, and yeah, seemed to know the track pretty well.
We'll go to Alan.
Alan Cavano with PRN. You get one short practice, relative, and that's a lot for these drivers. So what can you accomplish? What do you want to accomplish in that practice session to make you feel as comfortable as possible?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think when I found out the practice session was getting a lot longer due to the repavement, I was pretty excited about that. So the 50-minute practice session should be good. But, yeah, for me, it's about running laps around here, getting used to the car. You know, I'm fairly used to in Australia. Supercars runs at a high level and learning new tracks. But for me, it's going to be learning a new track and a car. So, yeah, just build up into it, hopefully no mistakes, and see where we end up at the end of the session.
And in terms of experience, I think SVG was, I think he had said he had never had a right-side shifter car, anything like that. I mean, where are you on that front? Have you done this before?
Yeah, supercars are very similar car, but they're right-hand drive. I race in GT cars, so I race left-hand drive, but they're paddle. So I haven't shifted with the right hand yet, so we'll see how I go with that. But, you know, in the sim, it wasn't a drama at all. You sort of just, I don't know, I'm used to racing different cars, so you sort of switch over. And, yeah, it'll be interesting once I'm out on track. But so far, I haven't found it too bad.
Thank you.
We'll go to the back, and then we'll come up front here.
Tom Zaleski, Iron County Today. New surface here at this place. Did the time at the simulator teach you anything about this place, or is this going to be an ongoing learning on the fly kind of thing?
I think I feel good after the simulator. Like, you know, I think it's a very good tool to use and get a driver up ready for the track. But yeah, nothing is the same as the real thing at the end of the day. So yeah, can prep that way, but until I get out there, I don't really know what to expect. So I know the layout, know where I've got to go, and the bumps, but we'll see how the real car reacts to it.
Go ahead.
Well, there hasn't been a whole lot of Australians here in NASCAR, but did you follow it all? I know you're pretty young, but did you follow Marcos Ambrose at all growing up?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say I followed it massively when I was younger. I got into racing a little bit later. So, you know, Marcus was actually coming back to Australia when I was coming into the supercar sort of scene. So, yeah, I've definitely kept an eye on it. I think since Shane coming over, it's really put it on the map. I think for a lot of Australians, it wasn't that we loved watching NASCAR, but we probably didn't think it was possible to get a team to look at us and give us the opportunity to drive in a NASCAR. So, you know, after Shane doing that, it's opened up some doors. And, you know, with meeting Richard last year, it sort of just come on from there. And, yeah, I've stayed in contact, and I didn't think I'd be in this position a year ago. So it's pretty exciting.
So you don't necessarily remember the year Marcos almost won here, right? I mean,
No, I don't. No,
okay.
sorry.
All right.
We'll stay up front.
Hi, Bill Sessa from the Napa Valley Register. In the supercar and the other series you run in, you run against a lot of the same people, so you learn their tendencies. You know how to race them.
Yep.
How do you approach this race? Besides the car, you're racing with a bunch of people you've never raced with before. What do you look for?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Obviously, we race hard back at home, but you know that it's scrutinised. Where over here, obviously, it's not as much. So I'm used to the argy-bargy, but I don't know who sort of does that and who doesn't. So it'll be interesting. But you know that's life. It'll be a lot of learning out there this weekend, and I'm excited for that. So we'll see what comes of it, really.
Any additional questions?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's been cool to have a look. I walked the track for the first time this morning, and the undulation, how steep it is going into turn 2, I didn't expect that. I don't think the simulator shows that as much, or even onboard footage. So, you know, there's a lot of uphill and downhill, but we do have tracks similar to that in Australia, so it's not unusual. But yeah, probably didn't expect that. And yeah, I'm just cool to see everyone come out here on Sunday and see what it's like to race over here in front of a crowd.
All right. Well, thank you, Will, for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right, there's the checkered flag. Great job, driver.